It's the champ, Shannon the Cannon, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. And you're watching Sports Icons. Subscribe. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Champ.
So, following on from the video that I uploaded last night about the whole situation with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, well, in fact, now there's an update from the WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, who is the president of that organisation, and he's given us an update on his thoughts surrounded all with a possible purse bid. So we'll get straight into his statement, and I'll put this article in the description box as always. So Mauricio Sulaiman's statement: these important fights which the public are demanding must take place. The priority for the WBC is boxing and the fans over television rivalry. Anyone who prevents these matches being made will have to live with the consequences of depriving the sport and the people. We are entering a different era in boxing, with the major investment through ESPN and DAZN bringing a change in broadcasting platforms. Hopefully the internet will put an end to the way in which many big fights have failed to happen in the past, to the detriment of boxing. There was huge public interest following the first fight of our heavyweight belt between Wilder and Fury. We mandated the rematch and extended the time for the parties to negotiate before going to purse bids. After being told on Friday evening about Tyson Fury's contract with ESPN, I have spoken with both parties about the rematch. The WBC will follow the proper protocol to examine what steps we can take to help the fight go ahead. We owe it to the fans to make it happen. I will speak with them. Last week, I was communicating with both parties. They both said that they were very close to making a deal for the fight to happen without the need for purse bids. That's how we left it on Friday. Then on Monday, we had that news. So I'm now communicating with both to see where they stand regarding those negotiations. We will take every single step, hoping to make the fight a reality. I am hopeful. I'll assess their positions, understand the situation. From there, we'll determine the steps to take. A purse bid is possible. It's their willingness to participate in the bout. Then we'll make a ruling. They may ask for additional time. Whenever a fight's being ordered by an organisation, it's most likely to happen. So that is a statement of Mauricio Sulaiman. As I said, he's the WBC president, for those who don't know. So what I can read from that is he was left in the dark with regards to Tyson Fury signing with ESPN top rank Bob Arum. So, and since then, a lot of people have been saying, well, Deontay Wilder, he fights on the PBC platforms of Showtime or Fox, and ESPN are rivals of those. So it's quite a difficult thing to happen. But as I said before, and Deontay Wilder, he admitted this as well a couple of days ago, which I did a video about, where he's actually a free agent. So he doesn't have to be tied down to Showtime. No PBC fighter has to be tied down to Showtime or Fox. They can always move. So there's never, ever a wall. And that's one of the great things that I do like about the PBC. But at the same time, they do risk losing a lot of their fighters unless they can nail down certain fighters on contracts. But we'll have to wait and see if they ever do that. But for now, Mauricio Sulaiman is saying that he was unaware of it, and now he may be a little concerned about it. And if necessary, he's going to be ordering the purse bid. So he had the impression, because these guys asked for extra time, they asked for an extra week extension to the purse bid, because a deal was close. But as it turned out, a deal wasn't close. As it turned out, Tyson Fury, Frank Warren weren't even speaking with Team Wilder for a week before Tyson Fury announced the ESPN deal. So Mauricio Sulaiman has been kept in the dark, which is not really a good look, I suppose. But as I said to you guys before, the only one who's in a real predicament is Deontay Wilder, from the point of view where he cannot pull out, he cannot go looking at other options. There's nothing wrong with him looking for a plan B if Tyson Fury pulls out, which is the only way that this fight is not going to happen, is if Tyson Fury pulls out. And it shouldn't be about money. Tyson Fury said that he gave away all his money to charity. He doesn't need money. So therefore, even if he does go to purse bid and he only gets 40%, should it really matter? So if Tyson Fury pulls out, it's because Frank Warren, Bob Arum are in his ear, or he's not confident of winning the rematch. It can only be one of the two, right? So for me, I agree with Mauricio Sulaiman. I think that the rematch will happen. But what kind of scenario is it going to be? Are they going to do a cross-promotional deal between Showtime and ESPN? Maybe. But at the same time, there's nothing stopping Wilder from coming over to ESPN. Nothing stopping him whatsoever. But in the ideal situation for all fighters, for all parties, no matter what the fight is, or it's always good to try and work out a deal before it goes to purse bid. Because when it goes to purse bid, that show is up in the air. Okay? In the sense of, Eddie Hearn could bid for this one and win. Some company that we don't even know over in Taiwan could win the purse bid and put the fight on in Taiwan. You just don't know how these things are going to go. So it's always that kind of risk, but ultimately Wilder can never pull out of this deal without getting stripped, or of course he can vacate his belt. But if he did that, then he has no chips at the table for any kind of negotiations. If he can't fight Tyson Fury next, he's got to be looking at the Anthony Joshua fight going, damn, I'd have turned down 28 million. Potentially more, because he was offered a 40% split as well and a guaranteed rematch, and they even offered to have the first fight in America if necessary. So he's got to be looking at that thinking, okay, so now I've got to go fight either Dominic Breazeale or a rematch with Luis Ortiz, although Luis Ortiz does have an opponent, but I'm sure he'll cancel it. Dominic Breazeale has been ordered to fight Dillian Whyte for the official mandatory, but because Breazeale is still the mandatory, he could go down that route. There is a bit of needle between them, but Wilder isn't going to get paid hardly nothing in comparison. He's going to go back down to earning not even $1 million, which is one hell of a drop. Which is why I said he does need to do what Tyson Fury's done and go find a platform that is going to give him a huge sign-on fee. So it doesn't matter who he fights next. He's getting paid a whole lot of wedge. Okay, because him fighting Breazeale, that ain't going to be pay-per-view. He isn't going to be pay-per-view unless he fights a Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua. So the whole situation it's a little bit messy, and I do kind of get the impression that Frank Warren and Bob Arum are not too concerned if this fight happens next or not. But they do have to remember the consequences of this. Not only will Tyson Fury be dropped from the rankings, which again is protocol, if you're mandated and you don't accept the mandatory or the mandated fight, because it's not the mandatory, but you then get dropped from the rankings. The WBC say that it's all about boxing, it's all about the fans. It kind of is, but ultimately it's about them getting paid a lot of money, which is what they want, which is why they always make special belts for special fights. Okay, they've done it with Triple G and Canelo. They've done it with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, and the list goes on. So for them, it is about money, but listen, it's a business. I mean, a organisation for boxing should never really be about business, but we're now in the era where it is, because big money is to be had. So I don't blame him, not at all, which is why he's made the fight. He's not doing it for the fans. Well, he kind of is, because he knows that the fans are going to pay to watch it, and the rematch will be bigger. But going back to the point, if Tyson Fury allows himself to be pulled out of this situation, and say, okay, well, maybe we'll fight in September or October time, which is what Frank Warren and Bob Arum have said as well, then he's not guaranteed a fight with Wilder, because the fight is no longer mandated. If you pull out, you're not mandated. You get put back to the back of the queue again. Okay? Unless Wilder's going to give you a voluntary. In which case, Wilder can say, well, right, okay, well, you had the opportunity, now I want to give you 10%. Take it or leave it. If not, I'll move on. Wilder has no bargaining chips. Right now, he has that bargaining chip where the WBC have ordered it. And if he's not worried about money, take the fight. Just let it go to purse bid. Take 40%. If Bob Arum and Frank Warren come together and bid and win, officially he's getting 40%, but you're pretty sure he's going to get a little bit more behind the scenes that no one's going to know about. So, listen. If Tyson Fury pulls out and wants and believes he's going to get a rematch with Wilder in September, October, November time, then he ain't. That's my honest opinion. He is not going to get that, because it's no longer mandated. It's mandated to fight next, and that is it. There's no, well, if you want an interim fight, no problem. Which is what we've heard Bob Arum and Frank Warren say. Well, maybe Tyson Fury could fight someone, Wilder could fight someone, and these two guys fight at the end of the year. But it's not mandated no more at that point. It's mandated for now. The WBC haven't said you can go fight someone else. They've said you must fight Wilder, Wilder must fight you. If not, then your opportunity's gone. And that's Exactly how it is. So I understand the frustration with Mauricio Sulaiman. He has been left in the dark. That's pretty much how he feels about it. So fair play. And will he take it to purse bid? Who knows? He should do. Otherwise, why call it in the first place? That's my honest opinion. But I'd feel if it does go to purse bid, the one who's more likely to pull out will be Tyson Fury if his team don't win it. Anyway, you drop your thoughts below about it all. Click thumbs up. And of course, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.